Welcome back. From the previous video, Jelani defined 5 key variables of job characteristic theories. And then in this video, I would like to show you why these variables relate to our psychological mechanisms. So there are 3 of them: meaningfulness of work, responsibilities for outcomes, and knowledge of results. In here, we also have all of the definition from the book, but I would like to define it myself. Let's talk about the first mechanisms, meaningfulness of work. It is actually the degrees whether or not the job is matter to use, important to use, is whether or not it's meaningful to you. Very simple. And that is why these 3 characteristics relate to these mechanisms: variety, identities, and significance. So varieties, talk about whether or not the job is interesting. Variety relate to a lot of skill and different talents. Let's make an example. You come to a job that you have to repeat the same thing, the same task over and over and over again, and comparing to the job that require a different skill and different talents. You encounter different situations that you have to use different skills. Of course, the second job is more interesting and better than the first one because of the varieties factors. Talk about identities is related to the completion of the job. An employee identifies the work is when he starts from the beginning, or what I would say is from scratch, and he controls the whole process of the job, of the task, and then there is an visible outcomes coming from that task. And that's why it creates a sense of proud. You're proud because you do the job, you identify with it, you put all the effort into it. That's why identities relate to the meaningfulness of work. The last one is significance. Whether or not the job is matters, the work is matters, not only to yourself, but also to the societies. Let's give an example to our hospitality industries. We all have one goal in this industry is to create a meaningful experience of the great memories for our guests. All of our effort in here actually impact to the guest life and is related to the significance of the job. It makes the work more meaningful, and that's why significant also relate to our first mechanisms. Let's talk about the second one, responsibilities for outcomes. In this mechanism, you actually the main factors impacts the qualities of the work, and that's why autonomies relate to these mechanisms, because when you have autonomies at work, you actually empower to do the job instead of somebody tell you what to do and how to do the task. You have all the choice and power to choose how you want to do it, to control the process of the job. And of course, you are responsible and accountable for the outcome of the task. Knowledge of results. This is also very easy, whether or not you know whether or not you do a good job. And that's why feedback relate to this mechanism, because feedback in here coming from the work itself. Again, remember feedback of the job characteristics is not the feedback from the boss or from the colleagues or customers. It is the feedbacks from the work itself. Let's make an example. When you are a guest service representative, you complete the whole check-in process fast and quick, and that's why the guest is happy. And you already know you do a good job, and is the feedback coming from the whole fast process of your job, of your task. And that's why it relates to the knowledge of results. And let's take a look on this diagram right here. We have a quick summaries of the job characteristic theories and how they all relate to the psychological mechanisms. And at the end, it impacts the satisfaction level of our employee with the work. So we come up with an equations to also summarize the job characteristic theories. In here, we always have all of the variables right here. And remember, JCT represent for job characteristic theories. And this equation also can measure how satisfied are you with your job. So what is the outcome from the good job designs? First is actually trigger the internal motivations. And with a good job design, you're actually satisfied with the job. You are motivate to go to work, and that's why you go to work and you don't want to quit it. And at the end, you have a better performance. All right, so we know why job characteristics relate to the mechanisms. Please scroll down and complete some of the knowledge check questions, and then watch the next video in which I will cover the right and wrong answer. Thank you.